Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday Brief here on Joy News. My name is Nia Krofi Smatabe. Coming up in the headlines, Ivory Coast accuses Ghana of breaching international laws over likely environmental and social impact of the Bui hydroelectric dam project. 2 Nigerians posing as Ghanaians nabbed for defrauding a German of more than $800,000. Top editors beg for Ken Crunchy's early release, and the NPP spells out guidelines for its communication on court hearings. We have all these and more, including business, international sports and showbiz news coming up in a bit. In our first story, Ivorian authorities are demanding discussions with the government of Ghana over the likely environmental and social impact of the Bui hydroelectric dam project on Ivory Coast. This was contained in a letter dated June 17, 2013 and published by the Herald newspaper. The Bui hydroelectric dam is located 50 kilometers from the Ghana-Ivory Coast border on the Black Volta. It is expected to provide about 400 megawatts of power to Ghana when it becomes fully operational. But according to the Ivorians, Ghana, in building the dam, failed to consult them, in total violation of the international regulations in force as regards cross-border projects. The Ivorian government wants a discussion with Ghana on how to mitigate the consequence of the dam's operation on their country. In other stories, 2 Nigerians posing as Ghanaians have been arrested for defrauding a German of more than $800,000. Away from that, a 22-year-old resident of Kumasi, Samuel Datsun, has been arrested by the police for allegedly trying to sell his girlfriend for 8,000 Ghana cedis. The suspect was arrested by the police after he brought his girlfriend to Accra to be sold to a spiritualist for ritual purposes.
Accra Regional Police Commander DCOP Christian Tete Yonu, speaking at a press conference at the Regional Police Headquarters in Accra Sunday morning, said the suspect met a taxi driver in Accra and through a conversation expressed his desire to get somebody who could assist him get rich through juju or sakawa rituals. The driver, he said, told Samuel he had heard rumors that there was a Malam at Wager in Accra who could help him and exchange telephone numbers to facilitate the transaction. According to DCOP Yonu, on June 2, 2013, the suspect called the taxi driver from Kumasi that he had 2 human heads and wanted a prospective buyer.
Suspect Samuel Datsun called the taxi driver from Kumasi to say that he has 2 human heads and wanted a prospective buyer. The taxi driver informed his pastor about this information, and the pastor advised him to report the matter to the police, of which he did. The police, in collaboration with the taxi driver, gave a phone number to the suspect to interact with him under the guise of getting him a prospective buyer. The suspect called the number and said he could provide a human head for the ritual and that he is ready to kill the person in Kumasi to be preserved to him for an agreed fee of 8,000 Ghana cedis.
According to him, to protect the victim from being killed by the suspect, the detective asked the suspect to come to Accra with the victim on the 9th of July 3, 2013, so the killing will be done in Accra. Samuel agreed and said he was cash-strapped and needed 100 Ghana cedis to be used as transportation to Accra. Samuel Datsun and his girlfriend, according to the police, arrived at the VIP lorry station in Accra at about 8 p.m. on July 3, 2013 under the surveillance of police investigations. As soon as the suspect was picked up by the prospective buyer, the police arrested him. The police said upon interrogation, Samuel Datsun confessed to committing the crime. The suspect will be put before court soon.
The Eastern Regional Police Commander DCOP Yaji Akuriba has called on the people of Jumapo and its environs to continue supporting the police administration by providing accurate information about criminals in their communities. He made the call during the inauguration ceremony of the new Jumapo police station in the new Jabe municipality of the Eastern region.
According to the Eastern Regional Police Commander DCOP Yaji Akuriba, police personnel must commit themselves to their work and desist from bad practices which have the potential of tarnishing the image of the service. He said the public is watching and urged the police to flush out criminals in the various communities while encouraging members of the community to assist them in this regard.
We don't want the crime to be committed and then we start looking for the culprits. So if we do a lot of education, we know when to call people, the type of information we have to give out to the police, and the police on the other side will also assure the community that no, your identity is going to be treated with strict confidentiality. So I'm not going to disclose your identity to anybody. That there the two of us can relate well and then try to prevent crime.
The Jumapohene, Nana Kwame Opong Owusu III, urged other nearby communities to follow the example of the people of Jumapo by putting up a police station to assist the police service in their work. He appealed to the people in the community to form watchdog committee groups to support police efforts in crime prevention.
In a community of 1,000 people allows peace to prevail. So we found that it is rather more expedient for us to have the police station and move away the court. Because if the police are here and there is peace, there will be no need for court, because there will be no need for disturbances in the community.
Haruna Isif's report from the Eastern region.
Now, Muslims across the world will begin their one-month-long religious fasting known as Ramadan either tomorrow or Wednesday. For what to expect from our Muslim brothers and sisters in the next 1 month during this spiritual exercise, an officiating Imam at the Dar al-Salam Mosque, Imam Saeed Mukhtar Abubakar, joins us on the line to tell us more. Hello, good afternoon to you, Imam.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Okay, thanks for joining us. We're expecting the Ramadan to start, is it tomorrow or Wednesday, right?
Inshallah, tomorrow or Wednesday.
Okay, so just for the benefit of everybody, what exactly will be happening within this month of Ramadan?
Well, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Of course, Ramadan is one of the pillars of Islam. Every Muslim who is healthy and witnesses this month of Ramadan and is in his country of residence or place of residence must fast the month of Ramadan, and that if he's not sick or he's not traveling, and that these are the two conditions that have been set for a person to postpone this fasting process or fasting worship until he comes back or he's safe from the sickness. And with regards to this year, or as we all know, it is a 1 month exercise of worship through taking oneself into testing the ability and the strength of the human soul to be able to witness or experience depriving the body, the physical body, and also the psychological being of the human being from what he is normally used to, and that is eating from dawn to dusk, from the morning to the evening. He will have to keep away from eating and also doing other things that might not be allowed in this month of Ramadan.
Okay.
So basically, it is an exercise of a very important thing in Islam, which every individual as a Muslim will have to abide by and go through within the 29 or 30 days to come from tomorrow or after tomorrow, inshallah.
Okay, so what you've spoken about what Muslims are expected to do, but are there any specific things or religious rites, for instance, that you have to perform before the Ramadan properly begins, either tomorrow or Wednesday?
Yes, traditionally, today, and that is this evening, there is a body responsible in every nation or every Islamic community responsible to search for the crescent of Ramadan. And that is traditionally done during the afternoon of a day like today. Sorry, during the evening time of today, a day like today. Because the lunar calendar is actually start on the night of the following day. So we say, we search for the moon or the crescent this evening so that when we see it, it means tomorrow, Tuesday, the 9th of July, is going to be the first month of Ramadan. This is very, very critical and needs to be done, and most preferably traditionally, as it used to be done during the time of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, by naked eyesight. Though today technology has come and technology is used to do this sighting, there is nothing wrong with that. But traditionally, it should be done by eyesight. And if it is sighted on this day or this evening, then tomorrow will be the first day of Ramadan. Else, this month would complete, or the current month would complete the 30 days tomorrow, and then Wednesday would automatically be the first day of Ramadan for 2013, and that is 1434 according to the lunar calendar.
Okay, so with the sighting of the moon, it marks the beginning of the Ramadan period.
Inshallah.
Okay, so does it have to be, say, okay, we have different time zones, so let's say those in the Australasians, if they sight the moon first, then does it mean that they start and then the rest of us who come later will follow them?
Well, that is a very good question. Every nation or every country, depending on where it is, the sighting of the moon will be done accordingly. So if the people, let's say from in Nigeria, sight it, those people there are bound to start Ramadan accordingly.
Okay.
If we also sight it tonight, we are also bound to follow and start Ramadan tomorrow. And it can also be that the body responsible for sighting the moon in this country decides to follow the sighting of another country. That body will do that announcement accordingly, and that is also allowed.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Imam Said Mukhtar Abubakar, for explaining this to us this afternoon. We thank you for your time. But let's move away from Ramadan. Top editors in Ghana have petitioned the Supreme Court to release fellow convicted editor Ken Kranche earlier than his jail term. The Editors Forum of Ghana, EFG, in a letter signed by its chair, Ajoye Boafari, pleaded with the court to release Ken Kranche on humanitarian grounds. The group says it believes the lessons intended to be driven home by the Supreme Court's action have been well taken notice of, and thus a reduction of Ken Kranche's sentence will be in order. It noted that as a body which has long campaigned for responsible journalism, they will be the first to agree to the need for the media to always bear in mind circumspection in exercising media freedom and the need for respect for the panel. Mr. Kranche is serving a 10-day prison sentence for justifying that the 9-member Supreme Court panel hearing the ongoing election petition case is, quote, hypocritical and selective, a statement which the utterer Samuel Ewuku has apologized for. Meanwhile, there's been lots of public discourse about the random transfer, of Ken Kranche, the editor-in-chief of the Daily Searchlight newspaper from one prison to the other without any information to the family about the various transfers following his 10-day sentence pronounced by the Supreme Court last week. Well, joining us on the phone now is ASP Courage Atem. He is the Director of Public Affairs for the Ghana Prison Service. Good afternoon to you, sir, and thanks for your time.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me. Let me see the opportunity to like to inform you that I'm not a DSP.
You are not a DSP?
Yes,
okay.
The record have not changed yet. I was promoted DSP since last year.
Okay, good. Then congratulations then for
Thank you very
us.
much.
Okay. So now tell us, what is the procedure for prisoner transfer from one prison to another?
Well, let me say that in consonance with our mandate of ensuring safe custody and welfare of prisoners, we have various guidelines and principles and rules and regulations that govern our operations, including transfers. And so, in the interest of, all of these guidelines put together, and I must say that underlying principally all these guidelines is the security of the prisoner, security of the prison facility or prison system, and the security of the other inmates in custody. And so all this being put together will, determine where it's suitable for containing a particular prisoner.
Okay, so then in Mr. Kranchi's case then, well, we understand the family is worried because they heard he was at Insaom. They went there, they didn't see him. They were told he's gone to Ho. They sent someone to the Ho prison, and they were told he's no longer at the Ho prison. What is it that if the transfers that we have been told is happening, is it then in his particular case, would you say it is for his security, or you're doing it because of the security of the prison?
I would say that all those have been put into consideration: security of the man himself, security of the prison system, security of the other inmates. You are aware of people massing up at the prison gate, demanding to see the man when they were clearly told that the man had already exhausted his visiting quota. And so these developments and other things we picked up will inform us as to what to do. And I must say that we do all this in the supreme interest of ensuring that we are able to contain the man in safe custody and he is healthy, so that when he is due for release, he will be released healthy and strong for his family.
So have you indeed been transferring him from one prison to another because you fear his security might be under threat?
Let me say that yes, it was necessary for us to transfer him, and so that was done. And I must say that I am
How many times have you? Sorry, how many times have you transferred him?
I am happy to report to you that as we speak now, he is in safe custody. He is healthy. Actually, as recent as yesterday, which was Sunday, he was in church. And I think that is what is important. We should allow the man to serve his sentence in peace. When he is due for release, he will be released.
So where he is now, you said he has exceeded his visitor quota. Does it still apply to where he is now, or he can receive visitors now because he is at a different security installation from where he was previously when he exceeded his quota?
Every prisoner is entitled to a number of visits, a specified number of visits. I might say a visit in a week. So we are dealing with them on weekly basis. And so as of last week, he had already exhausted his visits. But we made it also again clear that apart from that, or aside that, he was still entitled to his lawyer and his wife. And in that yesterday, his wife was informed where he was. And he even made arrangement for his food.
Okay. All right, then we'll leave it here for now. DSP Courage Atem, thanks for your time here on the Midday Brief. But let's stay with issues to do with the Supreme Court. And we understand that the General Secretary of the opposition New Patriotic Party, Kojo Usefi, has been summoned before the Supreme Court. Let's get on the phone lines and get some more update on this particular development from my colleague Ani Osabute, who is covering the proceedings today. Hello, good afternoon to you, Osabute.
Oh, good afternoon, sir.
Okay, so tell us more. What exactly is Sir John being summoned for?
Okay, not necessarily, but the judges said that his name has come to the attention that he has said certain things on radio stations. You recall that this morning, one of the newspapers wrote this to the Ghana Flower, for example, and some quite newspapers, some of them published commentaries they attributed to Sir John to have said against some members of the judiciary, of the Supreme Court. And they, according to them, they have heard that, and they are calling for the tape, and they will study the content of the tape. And based on what they come up with, they will advise themselves whether to call him or not. But for now, there's not been someone, but they just are going for the tape to sit down and study the details of the content of the tape. And based on what they are able to come up with, then they'll proceed as to whether to call him or not to call him.
So we do not know for now if he will also be facing probably contemptuous remarks against the court, as was the case in Ken Kwanche and Co.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. But I think that, some of the newspapers, this morning, for example, the Ghana Plus, I remember, I'm very certain about, quoted him to have said some certain remarks about one particular judge and his posture and all of that. And they felt that, you should be invited. But if you recall about Mr. Justice John Dutch, said that, in as much as we want people to sort of be mindful of their words, they don't want a situation whereby people will be settling political, especially between the NDC and the MPP. And I think at that time, the State Money Super published an article attributed to a gentleman who hosted the NDC caucus program to have said something in that might amount to contempt, and therefore not to be invited. So, such a warning came up. So I don't know. It will be like this time around.
Okay, finally, before I let you go, though, are we expecting Sir John's, the court to make a final determination of Sir John's case, whether he will be called today or we're expecting it probably later on in the week?
No, once they have orders for the tape, I don't know where they're going to get a tape from. I don't know which particular station or television network or whatever. Okay. But once you get hold of the tape, now the decision lies on the whether to bring it up or not to bring it up. If they said it and they feel that the content, warrant that is brought before them to come and respond to them, yet they will. If they find it immaterial, well, then they issue that.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that update. Anu Sabute is my colleague, and he's covering the Supreme Court proceedings for us. So we take a break here. We'll be right back. Please stay with us. Gifty? Okay, so tell us, what have you been up to, or what has the president rather been up to at the PDS Lodge?
Well, the president was at the PDS Lodge to, as it were, launch a code of conduct for ministers, deputy ministers, and other government officials. Actually, it was a meeting that was supposed to be an orientation workshop for deputy ministers, and so he took the opportunity to launch a new code of conduct for these ministers.
And do we know when the code of conduct comes into effect?
I think it is with immediate effect, and he did mention that it is not supposed to work in contrast with any other existing code of conduct. There are other code of conduct like that of trust and others. But he's saying that this new code of conduct is supposed to complement all the other ones that exist.
Okay, so I think we'll leave it here for now, Gifty, and we'll get more.
Hello, Mark.
Yes.
Yeah, let me just quickly tell you some of the things that he's been saying here. Now,
okay, sure.
The point that he's been trying to drive home is that, yes, indeed, you believe that. And it's smart. You know that corruption has been one issue that politicians have battled with, and we as a country have battled. I'm sure other countries have also battled with. Nobody knows if it will ever come to an end in a political dispensation. But what the point that he made was that he believes in prosecuting people who are found being involved in corrupt acts. But then also he believes in putting in place systems that corruption in the first place.
Okay.
And so this code of conduct is supposed to be one of the measures, and actually it is supposed to provide absolute clarity in its work, absolute clarity as far as what each and every member of government is supposed to do in achieving all the promises that they made to Ghanaians.
Does it contain sanctions as well for those who fail to live up to the billing?
I have not looked at the document myself.
Okay.
But he did indicate that this is going to be a periodic meeting that he'll be having with them. And if you recall, they've had performance contracts signed with the ministers. And so what he's saying is that they're going to be reviewing the performances as the time goes on, and this meeting is going to be a periodic one. And so, exactly.
Okay, all right. Many thanks, Gifty and Apia. We'll get more updates from you later during the primetime news at 8. But away from the presidency, motorists plying the route linking La Paz and Nyamicha, both suburbs of Accra, have lamented over the deplorable nature of the road. The residents complain the road is completely unmotorable, especially after the rains due to lack of proper drains.
This road links through Gwemomo, a suburb of La Paz in Accra, and joins the Dakuman Road through to Nyamicha and other neighboring communities. The road is untarred, and vehicles moving to and from adjoining communities leave thick dust in their trail, affecting pedestrians and hampering drivers' visibility. Marked with trenches and potholes as a result of constant erosion, the difficulty with which motorists ply the stretch is very obvious. But as much as motorists abhor the nature of the road, for them it is the only convenient alternative route to Nyamicha and adjoining communities.
La Paz no. Can be wusu sa obepon na honam nyina ya wo ya. Ndi kwan de enye. Nso mu yema de be ye de. Sinso ta hu kwan no kra atan skrampo no. Utimi kwan no akokosha teche mu.
Free Mambo Sport. Ebesin eba aseni de enye kra portos no. De bia ye sika na ye. De bia ye sika enye fine. Oh, yeah, I know I can be you can go up and for your cars says too much. Oh, yeah, fast I say soon yet. Who fast you qua? It is a fun one. Quite near say cars. Your banner spring boo, your cars says a track tax, a trap, but still on your quanimai. Into a strong one, a bunch on your quanimai.
Drivers plan to use the heap of sand they have bought to fix the road in the meantime, but fear the road will revert to its bad nature in no time. Hence, want city authorities to intervene.
Portos was so and yana talk born a free and yet young as a barn. There was a 3 years in Yana Yakwana is Kakran and posted now.
Residents are equally worried there is no proper drainage system on the road, resulting in constant flooding after a downpour.
when it rain, we don't have gutters, so then rain normally choke in a lot of people's various houses. Because of there's no drains around, people normally pour the water on the road. And if these drivers pass inside, it bears the water on those who pass by the side of the road. And when we complain, they normally insult us, these drivers, which is very bad.
Let's do something Botwin on health. Now, lack of infrastructure and modern medical facilities at the Sefiri Government Hospital is seriously affecting effective healthcare delivery at the facility. The hospital is also confronted with the frequent invasion of the wards by rodents and reptiles, as well as frequent power outages which have destroyed most of the equipment in the facility. The nurse manager at the hospital, Justina Amuyate, is appealing to the Ministry of Health and other benevolent organizations and individuals to come to the aid of the hospital. She spoke exclusively to Joy News.
The Seshiriosu Government Hospital started as an outreach point for Dunkwa Hospital in 1928, but gained health center status in the early 40s, becoming a government hospital in the early 1950s. The hospital was relocated to its present location in 1995, with the present structure serving as the first phase of the proposed hospital to be constructed at a later date. As a result, there is the problem of inadequate infrastructure to cater for the growing number of patients who access healthcare there. Both the male and the children's wards are combined, likewise that of the female and maternity wards. The delivery ward can only cater for 3 beds, a situation that at times compels expectant and sometimes lactating mothers to lie on the floor. The various wards are also lacking beds, whilst frequent power outages is also a major worry, destroying most of the few electrical and electronic appliances at the hospital. There is a standby generator, but patients are often catered for in darkness, especially during moments when the electrician in charge of the generator is not around. He lives far away from the hospital as a result of lack of accommodation for personnel. Most of the staff live at distant locations from the hospital, putting pressure on the few who live nearby during emergency cases. The nurse manager at the hospital, Justina Amuyate, in an exclusive interview with Joy News, enumerated some of the challenges confronting the facility and appealed for some assistance. Another worrying phenomenon is the frequent invasion of the wards by reptiles and rodents due to the bushy surroundings of the hospital. The hospital is a referral center to about 6 other districts, including Dwaboso, Bia, Akontombra, Seshibekwai, among others. Interestingly, the facility has not recorded any maternal mortality cases throughout the first quarter of this year, which is great achievement considering the level of deprivation.
From the Western region, let's head to the Eastern region now, and as part of its corporate social responsibility, the MTN Ghana Foundation has cut sword for the construction of a 6-unit classroom block for the Methodist Basic School at Esikaso in the Asamankese district of the Eastern region. The classroom block is estimated to cost 270,000 Ghana cedis and is expected to be completed within 6 months.
Ikaso Methodist Basic School was established in 1937 with a student population of 425. Infrastructure at the school is nothing to write home about. To this end, the MTN Foundation has come to the aid of the school by constructing a new 6-unit classroom block. Executive Secretary of MTN Foundation, Robert Kuzo, is confident the classroom block, when completed, will provide a conducive environment for teaching and learning, as well as increase enrollment in the school. He urged the contractor to work hard to complete the project within the stipulated period and appeal to the members of the community to provide the needed support to enable the contractor complete the project on schedule. The Upper West Achem District Chief Executive, Derek Ohenebekun thanked the MTN Foundation for the gesture, emphasizing the relevance of enabling environment for learning. The head teacher of Esikaso Methodist Basic School, Eric Obin Amofa, spoke to Joy News.
I take this opportunity to appeal to all old students of Esikaso Methodist, those near and far away. Let me also congratulate.
Now, First Lady Lordina Mahama has challenged the youth to explore the hospitality industry to help curb the surging unemployment situation in the country. Speaking at the 45th anniversary celebration of Flair Catering in Accra, the First Lady also advocated the pursuance of a more hygienic and decent food and accommodation for the growing urbanized Ghanaian population.
The occasion also coincided with the 42nd graduation ceremony of students of Flair Catering. Flair Catering is a privately owned establishment with a mandate to train students in hospitality management, food and kitchen hygiene, and entrepreneurship. The school has trained over 5,000 students from Ghana, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Zambia, Tanzania and Liberia. Executive chairman of the school, Barbara Baita, enumerated management's plan to make the institution a world-class one.
For some time now, we have been concerned about the standard of our national delivery, especially in the area of hygiene. I'm afraid to admit that we are not doing it right, ourselves included. So with the help of CUTVET, we are launching into a program for hygiene to achieve internationally acceptable standards. We are going to start an aggressive program with Accra Polytechnic on proper hygiene delivery in our hospitality industry. We will be working on the hazard analysis and critical control points, short HACCP. After that, we hope to continue to build an international institution to upgrade our skills.
Lordina Mahama advised the youth to take up training in the hospitality industry since they have several employment opportunities.
Training in catering and the professional grooming Flair office is a great platform in today's booming hospitality industry. As the social life of many more Ghanaians change, and their disposable incomes also increase, they will go for breakfast and lunch or dinner in restaurants and hotels. There will be more birthday and anniversary parties requiring the services of professional and customer-friendly caterers. As we all know, great opportunities are opened up by a career in the hospitality industry. I therefore want to advise any young person who has a passion for catering and the hospitality services to go for it.
The First Lady presented a 6-burner gas oven to the school and promised to support them with an ultra-modern library facility when it finally builds its main campus at Kokomlemle. She also donated 2,000 bags of cement to start the school's project.
A Ghana news agency survey has revealed that prices of foodstuff and commodities in the Koforidua Central Market slightly dropped as compared to last week. The prices of yam, plantain, cocoyam, cassava, tomatoes, onions and smoked fish had slightly reduced as at Friday.
A tuber of small yam that was sold for 5 Ghana cedis, while the big one cost 8 cedis last week, had reduced to 4 cedis and 6 cedis respectively, while the bunch of plantain that sold for between 50 cedis and 30 cedis now sells between 40 cedis and 20 cedis. A bowl of tomatoes that sold at 10 cedis was being sold at 5 cedis. A pack of cocoyam that sold at 10 cedis was being sold at 5 cedis, while the price of onion remained unchanged. Tilapia that was sold at 20 cedis per 6 was being sold at 4 at 10 cedis, while the price of smoked fish has also gone down a bit, with price ranging between 2 cedis and 5 cedis. Prices of vegetables, cabbages, green pepper, kontomire, okra and garden eggs continue to be the cheapest items on the market, whilst price of fruits remained unchanged. The market women told GNA that they believed that the drop in the prices of foodstuffs, vegetables, cocoyam and plantain was due to the rainy season. They said that because transportation fares remained unchanged, it was likely that prices of commodities would soar again.
Now let's cross continents, and at least 40 people have been killed in a shooting incident in Cairo amid ongoing unrest over the removal of Egypt's President Mohamed Morsi. A Chinese government has given former Railways Minister Liu Zhijun a suspended death sentence for corruption and abuse of power. Liu was accused of accepting bribes totaling more than...
In the world of sports this afternoon, Ghana's under-20 team, the Black Satellites, won a 7-goal thriller to reach the semi-finals of the ongoing tournament in Turkey. Striker Ebenezer Sifua headed in the winner during 1 minute of stoppage time against Chile to make it 4-3. Ghana thus have a semi-final berth against France on Wednesday. And that was a match between Iraq and Korea. Now, we are joined on the line by my colleague Kwame Juma, who is in the camp of the Black Satellites in Turkey. Kwame.
How are you doing?
Yes, I'm blessed here. But tell us, what is the mood in camp?
Well, I can tell you that the mood in camp is that of a joy. I mean, you saw the game yesterday and all that we had to go through yesterday to get a result. I mean, it's just been a joy and fun that the boys obviously are just taking it one victory at a time. We are preparing for that crucial semi-final against France on Wednesday. So the team has just left Istanbul for Pisa, where that semi-final is going to be played.
Okay, some players attracted yellow cards. That means they are going to miss our semi-finals. And what plans does the coach have as we are approaching the semi-finals?
Well, at the post-match press conference, that question was put again.
Our colleague who was reporting live from Turkey. Now, let's do some tennis. Andy Murray won his first Wimbledon title and ended Britain's 77-year wait for the men's championship with hard-fought victory over world #1 Novak Djokovic. Congratulations to him. And meanwhile, UK Prime Minister David Cameron says Andy Murray deserves knighthood after winning the Wimbledon title. Queen Elizabeth has also congratulated Andy Murray for his feat. And that's all we have for you by way of Midday Sports. My name is Chris Appiah.
Now, theatre lovers who have never seen Nkome's hilarious play, Romantic Nonsense, over the weekend got an opportunity to watch the play. The play, which was first staged in 2009, tells the story of a couple who found out after their marriage that they were incompatible, although everyone thought they were the best couple in town.
My friends warned me, they told me you were too handsome for a husband, but I did not believe it. I didn't. Now see what you got me into. You were so wrong to marry me. Oh, you should have let me go my way. You pitiless, callous, insensitive, unsympathetic, cold-hearted, philanthropic fishes. Nonsense! Oh, all this for me.
The rerun of Nkome's acclaimed romantic comedy, Romantic Nonsense, was for a special cause to raise funds for SOS Children's Villages. The fundraiser was well patronized by theatre lovers from all walks of life. Despite it being the third time the play is being staged, patrons seem to enjoy every minute of it.
I am reminded of the Shunammite woman when she saw Elijah. Is it Elijah?
The SOS Village also used the occasion to honor two personalities, radio presenter and CEO of Empire Entertainment, Kwapena Anoche Adisi, better known as Bolore, and CEO of TT Brothers, Isaac Tete.
Well, I'm humbled. I mean, it's really an amazing thing, but most importantly, it's urging me on to do some more for the community, for the children.
It's not for myself alone, but it's for all of us who team up together to make it to become a successful. We always support the SOS children.
Managers of the orphanage intend to hold similar fundraising events very soon.
Romantic nonsense there. Now, renowned Ghanaian comedian Benson Ohene-Boateng, also known as Funny Face, has treated children to a fanfare in his bid to solicit funds for orphans and children who are less privileged in the second edition of his Funny Face Fun Festival.
Popularly known for his hilarious nature, Funny Face thrilled the children with his animal theme songs and comical dance. The children, who appeared to be enjoying every moment of the festival, jumped in excitement when Togolese football star Emmanuel Adebayor got on stage to display his Azonto skills whilst Manifest was performing. Funny Face Fun Festival is Funny Face's way of putting smiles on the faces of the vulnerable and less privileged children in the society, with support from Emmanuel Adebayor. The third edition of the Funny Face Fun Festival is scheduled for July next year, and he promises a bigger package for the vulnerable.
Now, I believe what they say, that Adebayor has at least a drop of Ghanaian blood in there somewhere. But that's it for the midday brief. Before we go, a second look at our top story. Ivory Coast has accused Ghana of breaching international laws over likely environmental and social impact of the Botwin hydroelectric dam project. Two Nigerians posing as Ghanaians have been nabbed for defrauding a German of more than $800,000. Top editors are begging for Ken Crunchy's early release. The NPP has spelled out guidelines for its communication team members on court hearings. And that's it. My name is Nia Kofi Smatabe. Once again, many thanks for your time. Do join us again tomorrow for another round of bulletin.